Scott.
Lucy, what are you doing here?
Well, I sort of need to ask you that. Of course, I told you I was coming to thank Julie again for saving Christina. So what are you doing here?
I'm here to talk to Julie about her case.
Oh, well, that's interesting, because we were just talking about that. Julie told me she was considering testifying. I told her it was a very bad idea.
No, but it's not. Scott and I both agree. The best thing you can do is to take the stand.
Scott, you think I should testify?
Yes, I do.
What? Why do you think that? I mean, you always tell me that if a defendant takes a stand, you know, it could be very risky. Why are you changing your mind? You decided to agree with Rachel?
Well, yes, actually, because it's a long shot, but it's the only shot she's got.
I don't want Julie listening to Rachel, Darren. I don't want her to testify.
Well, you're preaching to the choir, Chris.
We have to get Rachel off this case.
I'm not certain that it's in our best interest to get rid of Rachel right now.
She was completely discredited up there on the stand. What we need to do is find another expert who will get up there and give Julie a favorable evaluation. How hard can it be to find another shrink?
We don't have time to find another psychiatrist. We have to be in court this afternoon.
Get a continuance.
I can't. The judge will never go for it.
Well, find a way. We have to get Julie away from Rachel before it's too late.
Hello.
Hi. You sure got up early.
Yes, well, I had to go check on a pneumothorax patient at the hospital before you and I went to court this afternoon.
I understand the defense may rest today.
Oh, finally. Finally, our lives can get back to normal.
What's in the bag?
Oh, you will never believe what I found. Look, a replica of the race car that we picked up at the night at the thrift store when we first made love.
Well, what do you know? Looks identical. Now you have yourself a matching set.
Now we have a matching set. Kevin, I've been thinking a lot about New Year's Eve. About us starting over. In fact, I haven't stopped thinking about it.
Neither have I.
Well, I bought this car as a reminder of how great our lives were before I screwed it up by lying to you. And I promise, with all my heart, that I am going to do everything I can to make that up to you. We can have things the way they were.
No, we can't. You can't change what happened. And things will never be the same again.
But I thought that's what you wanted. To patch things up, to be the way we once were.
But what were we really, Eve?
Two people in love.
No, living an illusion.
Kevin, my feelings for you were... My feelings for you are real.
I'm not saying that they weren't or that they aren't, but we're living in two different relationships, Eve. I thought we were connected as a team. But you couldn't trust me enough to come to me and tell me about Bordisa.
I told you why I couldn't. I told you. And I am truly, truly sorry for that.
This isn't about apologies.
What are you looking for?
A partner. But not one that I can just make love to in a thrift store. Or do karaoke with at Johnny Lala's, or plan trips to Palau with.
Weren't those special times? Didn't that mean something to you?
Yes, it did. But good times just aren't enough anymore.
What are you saying, Kevin? Are you breaking up with me?
The first thing they tell you in law school is to keep the defendant off the stand.
But Scott, I'm innocent.
It doesn't matter. When you testify, there are a lot of ways it can backfire. Now, in your case, it's worth it.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to break the rules, Julie.
That's right. Now, you've taken a lot of hits on the witness stand, and reasonable doubt, I think you can rule that out. So your best bet is to testify. You've got nothing to lose, and you've got everything to gain.
Could I see you, counselor, outside, please, right now? Now.
All right. Thank you.
What the heck is wrong with you? Did that Rachel person put some sort of hex on you?
No, Lucy, I'm just, we just agree on one thing. I think that Julie should testify.
Wait, but I thought you were just going to see Rachel to find out how she coerced Greg Cooper into that confession. I didn't think you'd show up arm in arm with that wicked witch.
I didn't show up arm in arm here. I'm just trying to help her help Julie for crying out loud.
What I see you doing is fall for some hypnotic, beady-eyed stare that woman gives you. Wait a minute, what did you just say? You're trying to help Julie?
That's what I said, Lucy.
Well, the only reason you do that is, oh my goodness, you actually believe Julie's innocent.
What I believe is that she's entitled to some competent legal advice. She's not getting it from Leopold, so I'm here to give it to her.
Everybody has a different opinion about what's best for me. And it's even more confusing with Scott giving me advice. Why is he even here?
He appreciates the fact that you found Christina and you returned her unharmed.
Well, swell. But see, I'm doing court in 2 hours, and I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do.
Yes, you are. Somewhere deep down, you do know the answer. You just have to reach in and find it.
Yeah, well, it sounds so easy when you say it.
Look, I realize that it's not, Julie. That's why you need to use your friends that you trust to guide you. Let them help lead you to the answer you already know inside.
You really think I can get up there and sway a jury?
Absolutely. You look those people square in the face and you speak from your heart, and they're gonna believe you.
You can't guarantee that.
No, I can't. But what I can guarantee you is that if you sit and do nothing, you'll never win them over.
So you really and truly think it's in Julie's best interest for her to testify?
Yes, I do.
And who the hell asked you your opinion?
Oh, brother, another country heard from. Julie's psychiatrist did.
Well, and since this is a legal matter, perhaps her lawyer should be the one soliciting points of view.
This has gone too far. Let's get in there. Could you open this door, please?
Rachel? Hello, Julie. It's good to see you. We have something we'd like to discuss with you.
Drop the formalities, Darren. Julie, listen to me. You know you're my #1 priority. You trust me?
Of course I do, Chris. What is going on?
Yes, I'd love to hear the answer to that question myself.
What's going on is I think we need to fire Rachel.
Let's sit down. Eve, when we first got together, we were both coming off some pretty rough times. It was intense. We were raw. And we jumped in without looking.
So it's true. You want to end this?
No, not at all. I want to know you. I want to really know you.
You do know me.
I know the Eve that's on the surface. I know the Eve that likes good times and playing Sherlock Holmes and getting massages and having really lousy love songs sung to her. I want to know the Eve that's behind the martinis and the key lime pies and the race cars. I want to know the one who couldn't come to me at her darkest time.
I'm not sure I can give you what you want, Kevin. When I told you about my son, you promised me that I would never have to go through that hurt again. You said that what we had was enough.
I think I was wrong. And maybe I was kidding myself. Do you have any idea how how much it hurt that you couldn't come and tell me what Bordisa was doing? Eve, I cannot be cut out like that again.
What you're asking me to do, it's
a commitment. It's a deep, honest commitment. And anything else is a waste of time for you and me.
I want to, give you what you want. God, I've spent my whole life to be secure and to be in control. I have built walls up around parts of myself to be where I am now, okay? And I'm really afraid to knock those walls down.
I know you are. I know. It's just that that's the only way that we're ever going to have a chance at a real relationship.
What if I let you look deep inside me and you don't like what you see?
I'm taking the same chance, Eve. I have to expose myself too. But I mean, look at us. We're stuck. We can't go any further as long as your walls are in the way. You're worried about what you'll see? We'll never know unless we look. I love you enough. I'm willing to do this. Are you?
How can I not? I am so in love with
Where do you get off coming in here saying you're going to fire me?
You're part of the problem, not the solution, Rachel. And as soon as Julie gives me the go-ahead, I'm giving you your walking papers.
All right, enough of that. Let's go.
Wait. It's just getting good. Listen, Julie, they don't want her to testify. Chris said no. But Rachel is going to get fired by Chris if she keeps insisting.
Lucy, we got better things to do than eavesdrop in an insane asylum.
Shh. You know, I can think of one, but name 5 others. Come on.
How about the fact that they're going to come at you here in a minute?
Stop. Listen, I want to hear if Julie is going to testify. I don't know if she's going to testify. If she's going to go on the stand or not.
Chris, have you and Darren even considered what it would look like to the jury to have me removed?
It was our main consideration. The jury's lost all respect and trust for you, Rachel. The sooner we get you away from Julie, the better off she'll be.
No, Rachel is staying.
Julie, she's a liability.
Chris, she's one of the only things that has gotten me through this. I need her.
You only think you need her.
Without Rachel, I would still be under Cooper's control. But thanks to her, I have a mind again. And I've made it up. I'm keeping Rachel as my doctor, and I am taking the stand.
Julie, no.
That's the worst possible decision.
Oh, and what is better? Keeping my mouth shut, going down without a fight? I'm innocent, and this is my only chance to prove it. And I'd like for you to be with me on this when I do. You and Rachel are the only 2 people in this world who truly believe in me. Believe in me now, Chris.
Okay. Okay, if that's how you want to play it, then we'll face it together.
Thank you.
I can't believe what I'm hearing here. I am the only person here who is qualified to give Julie legal advice, and no one's listening to it. Julie should not testify.
But she is. She made her decision, Darren.
One based totally on emotion. If you stood back from this for 1 minute and looked at it, you would see that I should rest this case and start my close.
And what are you gonna say? Don't listen to all the bad things you heard about Julie. Really, she is a sweet gal.
Are you forgetting Cooper's confession?
He recanted.
The very fact that he confessed in the first place creates reasonable doubt, which is all we need to avoid a conviction.
I can't count on that.
Darren, if she's made up her mind to testify, we need to support that.
Aren't any of you getting this? I will not put her on the stand.
It's what she wants to do.
Oh, this is ludicrous. Look, if you're determined to get up there and blow your case, you're going to have to find yourself another lawyer.
Well, you can't abandon her mid-trial.
Oh, I don't plan to abandon her. But I will not permit her to testify. Period.
And I say I am taking the stand whether you like it or not.
Well, here we are again.
Yeah, starting to feel like a second home.
Well, at least this is finally almost over and we can forget about the general homicide murders.
I wouldn't count on it disappearing just like that. I can't imagine Rachel letting go even if Julie's convicted.
Hey, good afternoon, all.
Hello.
Wow, you seem to be very cheerful.
I expect Darren will rest his case for the defense this afternoon, and then we can all get a good night's rest tonight.
Oh, it's good to hear you sound so confident.
You can thank Gray Cooper for that. He convinced the jury that Julie committed the murders. I think we'll get what we want here.
I'm just not so sure. If one thing I've learned, it's not to count Julie out too soon. Let's go.
Hi,
Eve?
Hi, Doc. Hey, look at that. Chris is still sitting right by Rachel.
Well, I guess she didn't get the boot.
You know what it makes me think is when she gets her claws in somebody, there's no pulling her off of them.
Cut that out, Lucy.
Okay. Sorry, I will cut it out. Listen, tell me, do you think Julie's gonna take your advice?
It doesn't really matter because she doesn't have much of a chance of being acquitted.
Oh, Scott, something just tells me this isn't right. If she is convicted, it somehow isn't right.
Lucy, just because she thinks she's innocent doesn't mean...
I know that. It's just that she did save those guards' lives. They probably would have frozen in the snow, and she saved Christina's life. Would a person that it's called a murderer do all of that? Since I've gotten to watch her lately and stuff, I just don't think she's capable of killing anybody. Wow, this is it.
All rise. This trial court of the state of New York is now in session. The Honorable Anita Martin presiding.
Please be seated. Counsel, I've instructed the bailiff to hold the jury in the jury room. I have just been informed, mistakenly I hope, that Mr. Leopold is no longer representing the defendant. Is this true, Mrs. Ramsey?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Do you care to explain the situation?
I fired Mr. Leopold when we couldn't reach an agreement about my next course of action.
Do you intend to represent yourself in this case?
I do not, Your Honor, and I need time to find another attorney.
Your Honor, this is outrageous. This is obviously a desperate trick by the defense to create a mistrial.
Your Honor, may I please have permission to speak?
Go ahead. But please don't waste the court's time, Dr. Locke.
I'd just like to say that this is not a trick by Julie. It's an unavoidable situation caused by a genuine difference of opinion between the defendant and her attorney.
Difference of opinion or not, Your Honor, I respectfully request that you compel Mr. Leopold to finish this case.
No, he and I are at a complete impasse. I've lost all faith in him. I don't want him to represent me.
Dr. Locke, you may sit down. Mrs. Ramsey, do you understand the impact this decision will have on your defense? I must warn you, dismissing your attorney at this point in your case is hardly in your best interest.
Is it in my best interest to give up? Because that's what I feel Mr. Leopold is asking me to do. Don't I have the right to an attorney who will defend me the way that I want to be defended? Please, Your Honor.
All right. But let me make myself clear. I will not permit this to become grounds for a mistrial.
I understand.
I was under the impression you intended to rest your case today. I will appoint a public defender to wrap this up, and we can let the jury get to work.
Pardon me, Your Honor.
Yes, Dr. Ramsey.
My wife would like the opportunity to find a new attorney, but we're going to need a little time to, bring someone else up to speed.
The defendant should have considered that before she fired her representation. Your request is denied.
Judge Martin, my life is at stake in this courtroom. Please give me this last chance to defend it. I am begging you, Your Honor. We only need a little time to get this straightened out.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Mrs. Ramsey. We have 12 jurors and 3 alternates who need to get back to their lives and their jobs. In light of that, I'll appoint a public...
Your Honor, you don't have to appoint anyone.
And exactly why not, Mr.
Because
Ball?
I'm going to be representing Julie Ramsey.
How's the soup?
Sunshine tomorrow and a high of 39.
It's terrific. Did you make it yourself?
I opened the can.
Really? You shouldn't have gone to all the trouble.
Come on, give me a break. At least I got your favorite. Tomato.
Yes. Frank, you don't have to wait on me.
Well, don't get used to it.
I know you too well to do that.
Anything good on TV?
Well, there was a report about Greg Cooper's testimony on the news. He really yanked the rug out from under Julie.
It's weird, huh? You know, Julie had a chance to run when the prison van crashed, but instead she went to get help for the guards.
She just did that to make herself look good.
I don't know. If you're really guilty, you don't hang around to make yourself look good.
Okay, Frank, I would love to stay here and argue with you about crazy Julie, but I gotta get going. The insurance adjuster wants to meet me out at the crash site, you know, get a statement.
Why do you have to do it there?
Well, he wants to go over how I think the accident happened.
Well, let me drive you.
Oh, you've got Neil coming by.
No, I'll just call Joe and tell him we need to meet later.
Thank you. But I can do this. Really. I'll be fine, okay?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Smith, 50.
The insurance adjuster wants to meet at the accident site. Don't they normally just have you fill out a form?
Yeah, I think they're being more thorough because Courtney lost her baby in the accident. Anyway, I just wanted to get there earlier, take a look around.
Oh, well, you know, I'd go with you, but we got to pick up Neil from his tutors and drop him off at Frank's.
Well, you and Frank seem to be getting along better.
Well, that's Neil's doing. He loves hanging with Uncle Frank. And he is pretty great with him, I have to admit. Every time I see them together, it reminds me of what a terrific brother he used to be, you know? Kind of gives me hope he will be again someday.
Mr. Baldwin, let me get this straight. The defendant has fired her attorney, Mr. Leopold, and now you are offering to represent her?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are making this offer because?
Julie recently did something for me, and I would like to return the favor.
Your Honor, the defendant fired Mr. Leopold as a delaying tactic. The court cannot allow her to mess with its time like this.
The fact remains, Mrs. Devlin Ramsey is without representation. Are you willing to accept Mr. Baldwin as counsel for your defense? Mrs. Ramsey, I need an answer.
Yes, Your Honor. I accept Mr. Baldwin as my attorney.
For the record, the people strongly object.
Noted. Court's adjourned. Both counsels in my chambers, now.
All rise.
Hey, what are you doing? Do you really believe that Julie's innocent?
No, but I'm just filling in till she gets another attorney. See you later.
Okay.
Well, the obvious question is what's in it for Baldwin?
The point is what's in it for Julie. Rachel's right. Who cares what Scott's reason is? As long as he puts me on the stand, I've got a chance to prove to the jury I'm innocent.
No, I don't like it. Scott is way too close to Kevin, and Kevin is the one who's made it his mission in life to keep you locked up.
Scott's got a mind of his own. Maybe what's in it for Scott is Julie going free.
Yeah, or maybe he's stepping in to make sure she goes to prison for the rest of her life.
Lucy, do you have any idea what Scott's doing?
Why would he do something like this?
Well, you know, you were in there. You heard what he said. He's just returning a favor.
A simple thank you would suffice.
Well, Doc, you know, she doesn't have an attorney, and I guess he's just filling in until she gets another one. He was her attorney at one time.
Yes,
you know?
when he thought she was innocent.
Maybe she is.
Why? What? Why, because she says she is? Charles Manson said he was innocent, too. Lucy, Julie's own mother walked away from this. Oh. But Julie didn't save Nicole's baby from the snow now, did she?
Okay, I admit that's a big part of it. All right, that's a very big part of it. But just, it's just for the past several weeks, I've had these very confusing feelings about Julie's guilt.
Wait a minute. Do you think she's innocent?
I don't know. Maybe so. Oh, Doc, I can't believe you. You know, I expect that kind of look and roll in your eyes from some people here, but not from you.
Lucy, we stood side by side while she tried to brick us into a wall, remember?
Yes, Eve, I remember. Of course I remember. But I just have this weird feeling that she couldn't have gone through with it. You know, maybe she's not a murderer. It's just this feeling I have. Doc, you know how I sense things. I have this sense of things.
Fine, you're intuitive, Lucy, very intuitive, but that doesn't mean that Scott should help Julie. And I don't think any of us have any idea what could happen if she's set free.
Your Honor, I'm just filling in for Mrs. Ramsey until she finds another attorney.
Mr. Baldwin, did you or did you not offer to take the defendant's case?
Well, I did because she doesn't
And
have...
that is what you are going to do. You are now her attorney of record, and you will remain so until the trial ends. Are we clear?
Your Honor, I am not familiar with all the details of her case. I would like to take some time and read the transcripts.
Then I suggest you get started. You have 24 hours to prepare. I'll see you in my court tomorrow.
Hey, champ, come in.
Hey, my dad hasn't seen your place yet, Uncle Frank. Can I show him?
No. I gotta get back to the hospital.
Oh, come on, Dad. It's so cool.
Check it out.
Dad, okay. Look how he has this chair set up.
Yeah?
And there's a CD player so you could turn it on with your toe when you sit right here.
I could not believe you have one of these. Ah, yeah. Just like when we were kids, a kind of an updated version.
Yeah. Sure played a lot of one-on-one, didn't we?
Yeah. Mom always thought we were in our room doing homework. You know, this guy never won a single game the entire time we were growing up.
What? I kicked your butt every single time we played. What are you talking about?
Okay, one game.
Yeah. Why don't you two have a playoff? Rematch.
No. I gotta go. I do.
Come on, Dad. Just one game, please.
I wouldn't mind beating the pants off you one more time.
One game.
Yeah.
See my brother and set him straight about a few things.
No, Frank. You can't tell him you're Neil's father.
Watch me.
I have to get to him before Frank does.
Miss Canellos? Sorry, I'm really running late today.
Oh, no problem.
I'm Hal Bruder from Coleman & Stevens, and I'm taking a statement from Courtney Canellos regarding her version of what happened the night of the accident. Let's start with the road conditions.
Well, it was snowing, and it was windy, very windy, so the...
I believe your client's innocent, Mr. Baldwin.
Hey, listen, you scribblers, back off. I said no comment.
Miss Jensen, Mr. Baldwin, just 1 minute of your...
Listen, fair warning, Scott. Be prepared tomorrow. I am going to nail your client to the wall when I make my clothes.
Hey.
Oh, and how does the devoted husband feel about Scott representing his wife?
Surprised. Did you know this was going to happen?
Our jaws hit the floor just like everybody else's.
It was obviously a spur-of-the-moment decision.
Oh, it doesn't matter who handles Julie's clothes. She's innocent. Just hope Scott makes the jury understand that.
What say we just hope justice is served?
That's all I want.
Oh, that'd be fine, too. Well, welcome aboard, counselor.
The judge said we could use her chambers. Let's go.
Okay. You know, Scott, he's a good man, Lucy.
Yes, he is, and the only reason he's doing this is because he believes that a person deserves the best defense they can get, no matter what.
That's why I'm proud to call him a friend. And you are one lucky woman.
Luck has nothing to do with it.
2 giants of basketball are locked in. Deadly struggle. Oh! Go, Dad! Once again, Jill Scanlon scores!
Okay, let's see what you got. Wait, time out. How you feeling, big guy?
I'm fine. And doctors usually sit down, right? Like in booths.
You know what? I'm gonna sit down with you. Oh.
Dad, please don't stop. Uncle Frank's one up on you.
What? I'm pooped. Look at me. I'd rather sit here with you.
You can't quit, Dad. I'm fine.
I think it's time to put your Uncle Frank out of his misery, huh? Come on.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Ooh, yeah.
So you fired Leopold because he wouldn't put you up on the stand?
Yes. Rachel has been preparing me, and she's positive that I can...
Forget about Rachel. How do you feel?
All right. I believe I can convince the jury I'm innocent if I'm given the chance.
Yeah, well, what about the prosecution when they come at you and they start hammering you with questions?
I wouldn't be willing to take the stand if I weren't telling the truth.
You better be telling the truth or the jury's not going to buy it.
Scott, I want to thank you for taking my case.
Well, just be ready for some tough questions.
I'll answer every one of them, truthfully.
I hope so, because if I make a fool out of myself by putting you up on the stand...
You won't. You won't.
I'm sorry you both ended up here at the same time.
It was my fault. I came early. I didn't know Courtney was going to be here.
Well, after I compare your statements with the police report, I'll make my judgment regarding liability. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
So what did you tell him, Karen? That maybe you might have drifted a little bit into my lane?
I know you think I purposely drove onto your side of the road, but that's just not true.
Well, it's easy for you to remember it however you want. Nothing happened to you.
I'm as sorry as anybody you lost your baby.
Well, why don't you tell that to Neil? My baby was his lifeline. Remember that.
I love Neil, too, and you know that. If anything happens to him, it happens to us all.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know, Courtney, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about what if. What if neither of us had been driving in that rotten weather?
So what are you saying? Now it's my fault? Because I was pregnant, I should have stayed home?
You know, trying to place blame isn't going to get us anywhere.
Well, then why don't you tell me why it had to happen? Hmm? What was so damned important? Why were you on the road that night? Where were you going?
It's the final showdown.
My game. My rules.
Has Janet been pushed to the wall?
Kill Sophie before she kills Amanda and Trevor.
Or will Sophie turn the tables?
I'll have my pal break your buttercup in two.
It's a fight to the end.
You did it now!
Don't miss All My Children, ABC Daytime.
Come on, answer me, Karen. Why were you out that night? Tell me.
You know, this isn't going to accomplish anything.
Oh, sure it is. Sure it is. Because if I can walk away with just one good reason why this had to happen, then maybe it will all make some kind of sense.
There is no way to make sense of what happened. It was an accident, period.
So I should just accept it then.
You know, we should concentrate on Neil. He needs our help. We need to
and I should just ignore the fact that you were out for no reason, that you weren't paying any attention, yakking away on your cell phone, driving way too fast.
If anyone was driving too fast, it was you. Your car went out of control, not mine. Or did you not think of that, Courtney?
How
dare you say it was my fault? You were in my lane, and you caused the accident.
I have to get back to the hospital. Excuse me.
You did it, Karen! It was your fault!
Oh! That's it! Joe Scanlon wins!
Still the champion. Hey. Hey, are you okay? Can I get you some water or something?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. This isn't just a bad day for him, is it?
No, it's not. And I have no idea what to do, Frank. I mean, the worst of it is he feels like he has to cover, so we won't worry.
I see that.
I mean, what am I supposed to do when he says I'm fine? Tell him, no, you're not. You're getting sicker, and I'm scared to death?
I wish I had some magic answer.
Me too.
He seems to be trying to hide how bad he's feeling from us since Courtney lost the baby.
Well, I mean, he feels like if he you know, shows us that he's in pain or something, that, you know, it's going to make things worse for us. And I've told him a million times it's okay to admit if you don't feel well, but he just keeps on pretending.
Maybe a child counselor could get him to open up.
Oh, no. I know him better than anyone. I mean, a counselor especially. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're right. You might be right about that. I mean, he's been through so much lately. He's missed months of school, the chemo, Courtney losing the baby. I wish he would confide in me, Frank, but I know he won't.
He does reach out to you, Joe. And you're a terrific dad.
Well, you know it's easy with Neil.
I know what you mean.
Here's to finally agreeing on something.
Yeah.
If you need to talk to me about anything at all, you call, no matter what time. Do you understand?
Thank you.
I almost feel sorry for Scott.
Why?
Because he's gonna fight to get me acquitted. And if that happens...
When that happens.
When it happens, I'm gonna take Christina away from him and Lucy.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
Well, it's kind of nice being the windshield for a change.
See, that's the spirit. Besides, it's not like we asked Baldwin to take over your case.
No, we didn't. And Christina is my baby. She should be with her mom.
And if Baldwin is the one who makes that happen, so be it. Hey, Julie. Grateful Dead or Led Zeppelin?
Oh, easy. Zeppelin.
Okay, carnations or roses?
Definitely roses.
Of course, what was I thinking? Beer or champagne?
Champagne.
Pâté or caviar?
Only the finest beluga.
It won't be long, you'll have it all.
Looks like the tide is changing.
You know, Scott may be good, but the evidence is still against Julie. Now, if you were smart, you'd pay Dara Jensen a visit and cut a deal.
I am smart, Kevin. Too smart for that.
What's the going rate for a hitman these days?
It's an awful lot of reading for someone filling in temporarily.
Well, Judge Martin, she had her own ideas about how long I'm going to be on this case.
And I guess Scott just feels like he has to see it through to the end.
You mean you're going to defend her? You're going to stand up there and say she's not guilty?
I'm going to put her up on the stand. I'm going to let her tell the jury that herself.
Oh, Scott, you're not.
Why? That's the worst mistake you could make.
Unless you're trying to make sure she's convicted.
Scott would never, ever do that.
Wait, is this the same man who was telling me not 2 days ago what a menace Julie is?
Yeah, I'm the same guy.
Well, then what the hell made you offer to help?
Because she saved Christina's life. She didn't have an attorney, and the judge took care of the rest.
Scott, you should walk away from this as fast as you can.
Even if I wanted to, I can't, all right? Now, I'm going to do my best to defend Julie. She deserves that. Everyone does.
That's noble. But what if you succeed? What if you end up setting a murderer free?
Okay, I have people lined up to cover for us while we're in court. Good. Finally, this whole general homicide thing can come to an end.
Yeah, but which end will it be?
Well, nothing and no one can convince me that Julie is innocent, not even your father.
Well, I can't say for sure he believes it right now. From the way he sounded last night, he was having serious second thoughts about taking on the defense.
Then how does he expect to put Julie on the stand and convince the jury that she didn't kill John Canellos?
Morning, ladies.
Hi. Good morning.
Your chauffeur is here to transport you to the Old Bailey.
Thank you, Jeeves.
You ready?
Yes, I am, and I want a ringside seat.
Well, it looks to be the main event. Respectable attorney takes over a notorious case on a whim.
Well, it was more than a whim. Scott believed Julie deserved a good defense.
I know, I understand. It's just that I think he's making a big mistake.
Hey, Mrs. Ramsey, come here.
Hi, Chris. How late were you up with Scott going over your testimony?
Too late. He kept coming up with one more question till I finally said to him, ask me anything else and I'll kill you.
She was kidding.
I am a little on edge. I'm putting my life in Scott's hands.
Now, you can still change your mind, you know. You don't have to testify.
But practicing with Scott last night, even when he rattled me, I knew I was telling the truth. And if I can get up there and do it in front of a jury...
You're going to be acquitted.
The only problem is, I don't know that Scott believes I'm innocent.
Hey, you. You were supposed to wake me up before you left. How's it going?
Well, it's almost time to go here, and I'm sitting here wondering what the hell I'm doing here.
I know. But what you're doing is exactly what you should be doing. You're giving a client the best defense she can get.
Yeah, I'm doing my legal duty. But as far as a moral duty, I don't know.
Because Julie did so many horrible, disgusting things when she was under Greg Cooper's influence. I know that.
Yeah, well, she tried to encase you and Eve in a wall like a couple of mummies.
Yeah, but I'm not sure she would have gone all the way through with that. I don't know.
You hope.
Okay. Look, it's just this feeling I have, this off-the-wall feeling that I can trust, that we can trust Julie.
Yes, well, I would like some hard, cold facts.
Oh, pal, there aren't any. This is never, ever gonna be just black and white.
Well, you've got your instincts to carry you through this black area.
Hey, Mr. Lawyer person, you don't have hunches. Come on. Who's the one that jumped up and volunteered to be Julie's attorney?
Yeah, well, I don't know why I did that. I'm beginning to think that it makes more sense that I fight to keep her locked away.
Hey.
Hey, Lee, what are you doing here?
Well, when you asked me yesterday whether I thought Julie was guilty or not, I wasn't, well, I didn't realize that you planned on taking her case.
Well, I wasn't, but we know that Leopold wasn't any good, and she canned him.
So you stepped in?
Well, I had no choice. It was either me or a public defender who really didn't give a damn.
Yeah, but you could have stayed away from it, too. But you had to do what you thought was right, and I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. In order for me to win, I have to believe what she's telling me, and quite frankly, I'm not sure I do.
But, Lucy, if he's not so sure that she is telling the truth...
I know. It could tear him apart, because he'll always wonder, always, did I do enough to help Julie, or did I do too much?
Do you wish that he hadn't gotten involved in this?
Oh, Gail, I don't know. I think he did the only thing he could do, but what happens if following his heart means he loses his peace of mind?
Did you tell Neil where you were going today?
Yeah, I had to. I couldn't lie to him. He misses John a lot, and he knows the trial's happening. He even asked me if he could come.
Yeah, but I said no way. I don't want him hearing the gory details of what Julie did to Canellos.
Allegedly. You know, what is your father trying to prove by taking on her case?
Well, my father believes in the legal system, and that means Julie gets a fair trial with decent representation.
Oh, you mean like the guy who got her off the first time?
If you're gonna start laying into my grandfather,
Lee set Julie free, and she killed again. You know, what is with you Baldwins? You think you can do whatever you want and to hell with the rest of us, huh?
That is not
Courtney.
true. You have no idea the lengths we go to protect the other people. I have never seen so many reporters outside of a courthouse in my whole life.
I know. I'm glad they're not letting them in the building. This trial is enough of a circus already.
Well, especially with Scott doing his part to get a certain man-eating lion freed.
She all right?
Yeah, of course she's nervous, but she's ready for this. She's very thankful to have you on her side.
I want you to imagine that I'm holding you in my arms and giving you a big kiss.
Oh, Chris, what would the jury think?
Well, probably the same thing that I do, you know. Your husband is one fine specimen of a human being who's lucky to have you. It's gonna be okay.
This trial court of the state of New York is now in session. All rise. The Honorable Anita Martin presiding.
Please be seated. Let the record show the defendant is now being represented by Scott Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin?
Your Honor, the defense calls Dr. Julie Devlin Ramsey. Let's take the stand. So tell us about the night you met Greg Cooper.
It was the night he held a gun on me.
Why did he do that?
He'd been kicked out of the internship program and was looking for revenge. So he took the General Hospital interns hostage.
And how did you feel when that was happening?
Frightened. Sure that I was going to die, that all of us were going to die.
And someone did, right?
The chief resident, Dr. Falk.
Was that the end of your contact with Greg Cooper?
No, a few months later, he kidnapped me.
Wasn't he in jail?
At first. Then he got himself transferred to a psychiatric facility. Supposedly because he had a seizure, but he told me later he'd faked it.
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, we're not offering this as fact, just what the defendant believed at the time.
I'm going to allow this line of questioning, especially since the prosecution has made Mrs. Devlin Ramsey's state of mind an issue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Julie, tell us about these kidnappings.
Well, it came as a total shock that Greg Cooper was even alive. Everyone thought he died in an explosion that he had set at Forest Hills, the institution where he was incarcerated.
And what happened when he took you as a prisoner?
He dragged me to the basement of his house, chained me to a pole, left me there without food or water.
What else?
He drew lines on my face because he said he wanted to cut me up and rearrange my features to look like someone else.
Look like who?
His long-lost sister, Marcia Cooper. He said I was Marcia, but he had to get the look just right.
Would that have satisfied him?
No. No, he wanted to hear me say I was his sister.
And when you refused to go along with him?
He, tortured me for weeks. And I, became very disoriented from hunger and abuse. And I began to believe that I was Marcia Cooper.
How did you manage to get away from him?
I was rescued by Frank Scanlon and Chris Ramsey. They got me safely away from Cooper's physical control.
You say his physical control?
Oh, he couldn't hurt my body anymore. But he still had control over my mind. All those weeks he kept me. The only face I saw was his. He was my only source of hope as well as fear, my only human connection. And I'm ashamed to say this, but against my will, I started to depend on him.
So, you said while in captivity, you began to think of yourself as Marcia Cooper. After you were freed, did you still feel that way?
Yes, and I fought against it with everything I had. But even from the institution, Cooper wouldn't stop calling me and writing to me, reminding me of everything we had shared.
He made plans with you, right? Is that correct? That's something he wanted you to be a part of.
Yes. He was, bent on killing people. All the people who he thought had wronged him. And he believed general homicide, which Kevin Collins had just published, gave him the perfect blueprint to follow.
Up to and including the death of John Kanellos.
John was never a part of it. The next victim was to be Joe Scanlon. But at the Halloween party, Joe and John were wearing the same costume.
Yes, and we all know the result. Now, according to previous testimony, you confessed to this murder. Is that correct?
Because I believed at that moment I'd done it. Greg convinced me I had.
But you don't believe it now?
No. No, the therapy I've had with Dr. Rachel Locke has helped me to recall what really happened.
Well, good. Tell us about that.
Greg called and told me I should get to the Halloween party early. He said I should claim that I wasn't feeling well. Go upstairs, wait there until I heard from him.
So you didn't go outside, as Frank Scanlon testified?
No, I went upstairs instead.
Why?
Well, Greg had called and ordered me to go down to the mad scientist lab of the funhouse. He said that that's the place where I would find the body of Joe Scanlon. And I was to stand there and,
I know this is very difficult for you, but the jury has to hear what you went through.
It was, John lying there, not Joe. And the blood was oozing out on the floor, and I said to myself, I'm a doctor, I have got to help this man. But when I went down to help him, I discovered that he was already dead.
He was dead before you got there?
Yes.
Well, let me see if I have this straight. You got to summons from Cooper that there's going to be a murder, but yet you don't lift a finger to stop it.
What was I supposed to do?
You were supposed to call the cops, for crying out loud. Call Joe Scanlon and tell him he's about to be killed, you know? But you let it happen. You let him be butchered like some kind of an animal.
You don't understand. Greg made me believe that he was all I had in this world. That he loved me, he protected me, and if I turned against him, I thought he would destroy me.
Well, does Cooper have this hold over you now?
No.
Did you kill John Kanellos?
No. I did not.
According to the timeline, you weren't under Greg Cooper's control for more than a year when John Kanellos was murdered.
That's true, but
And what were you doing during that year?
I was an intern at General Hospital.
Were you a good intern?
I received an excellent evaluation. Yes, I love my work.
Did you pay your bills okay? Did you do your laundry? Did you hook up with your friends? Did you treat your patients?
Yes.
So it was a normal kind of life. Until you got caught at the scene of a grisly murder, and then all of a sudden you realized, hey, I'm under the control of another person.
It wasn't like that. I could function in the real world without Cooper's instructions.
But when it comes to killing, you are suddenly and conveniently under his thumb.
Objection, Your Honor. Badgering the witness.
Sustained. You've made your point. Move on.
You claim that in certain matters you felt you had to obey Greg Cooper.
That's right.
And that in these same matters you had no control over yourself.
Yes.
Like confessing to a murder you didn't commit?
Objection.
Or actually committing a murder yourself? Yes or no?
First love.
I'm nothing without you, Jessica.
New love.
But I had a choice, and I chose you.
I didn't know I could ever love someone this much.
Which is the true love?
Christian and I are getting married. If you think you're anything more than a second choice, you're even more pathetic than I thought.
One Life to Live. ABC Daytime.
Mrs. Ramsey answered the question. If you had no will of your own, if Greg Cooper was in total control of you, couldn't he have ordered you to commit a murder for him?
Yes, but I wouldn't have done it. I didn't kill John Kanellos.
Because you're a helpless puppet, but you also have a conscience?
Objection.
Withdrawn. I'm finished with this witness.
Mr. Baldwin?
Since the prosecution brought it up, do you have a conscience?
I must. Or I wouldn't feel so badly about some of the mistakes I've made.
But it's not visible. You can't touch it, but you know that your conscience is real.
Yes,
Can you tell the difference between what's real and what's not?
I think so. I know so.
Is it real that Greg Cooper convinced you that you were his sister, Marcia?
Yes.
Do you believe it now?
No.
Is it real that Cooper made you think that you murdered John Canellos?
Yes.
Is it real that you did murder John Canellos?
Absolutely not.
And you're telling the truth now, aren't you?
Yes. Like I said, I've made mistakes in my life. I've done things I'm ashamed of. But there is a line I will never cross, and I could never murder anyone.
Why are you so certain of that?
I think because of my brother, Buddy. We were very close. And then he died, and I felt like I'd lost a part of myself. And people told me the hurt would go away. But it never has. I'll always miss him. And that is when I started to understand how sacred human life is.
Is that why you chose medicine for a profession?
Yes. I thought if I could save lives, it would be a way of honoring what my brother had taught me.
What would that be?
That every single life is irreplaceable. And it's why it's so painful for me to think about John Canellos. I'm innocent of his murder. But there is nothing I can do to bring him back to the people who loved him, to the children he might have had. All that love, it's gone forever. And I would never take that away from him or anyone.
Thank you, Julie. No further questions.
Does the prosecution?
No, Your Honor.
The defense rests.
We'll hear closing arguments tomorrow. Court is adjourned until 10 o'clock.
All rise. You okay?
Yeah, just barely. How do you think it went?
You did fine.
Well, Scott and Julie deserve a prize for that performance.
Well, I believed her.
You did?
Yeah, I mean, what your dad did up there actually convinced me she's innocent.
Well, I should go speak to him. Excuse me.
Hey, counselor.
Hey.
Lee and I would love to take you to dinner for a job well done.
Well, it is stone crab season, but I think it's a little early to celebrate.
Oh, listen, I had my eye on the jury. They were with you the whole way.
Yeah, they sure were.
Hey, you done good. You got through it, didn't you?
Scott, thank you.
Just doing my job.
Oh, you erased all my doubt.
Does that mean you believe I'm innocent?
Yes, I do. It's like you've been someplace far away, but now you're back.
Right where she belongs.
With the people who love you.
Well, at least because of Scott, I got to tell my side of the story.
Mrs. Ramsey, time to go.
Well, I better get to work.
Yeah, I hear the chief resident is quite a barracuda.
We'll walk you out, honey.
Okay.
See you later.
Hey. Good job, son.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Lawyer, sir. Can a girl buy a steak dinner?
I just turned down a stone crab dinner. I'm going to have to eat in and work on my closing statement.
I will help you.
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Don't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to thank you again for showing the jury what kind of a person Julie really is.
Well, let's hope they bought it.
You still have your doubts, don't you?
Was it that obvious?
No, not in the way you defended Julie, not at all.
Then what makes you say that?
Because I know you, pal. Something's eating at you, isn't it?
Well, let's say I got a little closer to believing that maybe she's telling the truth, and hopefully the jury heard what I heard. I mean, who knows?
So what are you saying? You think she has a shot?
Well, let's say it went from a long shot to even money.